Our artisans, they need to do 4 years of training to be able to manufacture a Kelly bag. This that you've just seen, the perlage, you need to be very skilled and very, very good.
Some of Hermes products are made in China. Towels are from Fuyue in Shandong. They also make products for Chanel and IKEA. Beddings are from Yue in Shandong. Men's shoes are from Shachi in Shandong. Tableware are from Gaochun in Jiangsu.
It was my first time shopping at Hermes, and let me tell you how it went.
We got a lot of requests, do Hermes next. And that's why we're here in the Highland Park Mall.
Made in Italy, made in China, or maybe made in Chile. Oh yeah, that should be a thing, by the way, because some brands get real.
Y'all, the luxury brand
creative
Hermes
when it
is in
comes
full
to
panic
making
mode right now.
Y'all.
They've just filed a lawsuit against the very Chinese factories that helped build their most iconic bags. And it's turning the fashion world upside down. These aren't just random counterfeit operations. These factories were the real ones making the actual Birkin and Kelly bags that sell for $20,000 or more. And now, they're spilling everything, from behind-the-scenes production secrets to viral TikToks and even receipts. They're exposing what really goes on with those Made in France labels. Let's just say, it's not as glamorous as we were led to believe. Forget the image of a French artisan carefully sewing leather by hand in a cozy little workshop. According to these whistleblowers, that story isn't quite the truth. Now Hermes is trying hard to do damage control, but the cat's already out of the bag. The illusion has cracked wide open and the truth is spreading fast. Let's dive into how this all unraveled.
She put the finishing touches on a Kelly, the most difficult bag to build. It starts with 30 distinct cuts of leather and can take 20 hours to complete, 4 hours for just the handle. There are no manuals or cheat sheets. Artisans rely on their training and muscle memory to make every bag.
Insiders and proof from Tanner Leatherstein reveal that as much as 80% of these high-end French bags are actually put together in China. The cutting, stitching, and leather work, everything is done overseas. Then Hermes adds a small detail, like a stamp or button in France, and labels it Made in France. When the factories spoke up, Hermes panicked.
So Hermes has put out a response to China, and they have like a video in a factory sort of showing people trying to show that they're actually the ones who are making the bags in a factory somewhere in France.
Let me introduce you to Tanner Leatherstein, a real expert in the world of luxury bags. He's not just some random guy on TikTok. Tanner really knows his stuff. People love watching him because he buys expensive designer bags and cuts them open on camera to show what's inside. He's become famous for exposing the truth about these pricey handbags. For example, he was the first to reveal that Chanel stopped using real gold hardware and switched to cheap plastic-covered leather. He also took on brands like Louis Vuitton, Bottega Veneta.
I have spent over $100,000 of my own money dissecting luxury bags, cutting them open, analyzing every stitch, every layer. Why? Because I had to know what made those bags so expensive.
And of course, Hermes. Tanner showed that the leather in many of these bags isn't better than what you'd find in a $100 fake. And get this, the real cost to make a Birkin bag is only about $600. Not $14,000, not even $38,000, just $600. That price includes good leather and metal parts. Tanner has spent over $100,000 of his own money buying bags, cutting them apart and studying every stitch and layer. Why?
They take almost finished bags from China factories back to their own factories and just do the repackaging and logo installing, something like that.
Because he wanted to understand why these bags cost so much. Now imagine the shock for Hermes when Tanner's videos started going viral and Chinese manufacturers came forward. These factories weren't just making cheap copies, they were actually building the real bags. But 80% of the work, including leather cutting, stitching.
Who is the Chinese supplier behind product? Bags are from Sitong Handbag in Dongguan City, Guangdong Province. It's a factory specializing in handbags for 54 years, and it produces 80% of the world luxury bags.
And assembly happens in China. Hermes then takes the mostly finished bags back to France, just to add a stamp or a logo and calls it Made in France. The truth is out and it's shaking the luxury world. Hermes didn't respond by admitting the truth or apologizing. Instead, they started suing these Chinese factories for sharing this information. Hermes claims the factories broke contracts and damaged their reputation. But here's the twist. These factories were legally hired by luxury brands to make the bags in the first place. Now that the truth is out, Hermes
He started making his boots in China, and that is these boots right here. This is pretty much the Ugg boot that like most Americans will have in their house. I was very pissed off when I found out the truth because I grew up in Southern California. I remember being in elementary school when I would only see 2 people in the entire school wearing Ugg boots, and they were always the cool surfer kids.
Hermes is acting like they had no idea these factories existed. Think about it. Hermes made $15.2 billion in revenue in 2024. That's millions of bags sold. And if it takes 2 days to make just one Birkin by hand, where are all the French workers making them? The numbers don't add up, and it feels like a big scam. Hermes isn't the only one doing this. Other famous brands like Prada, Chanel, and Louis Vuitton also manufacture most of their products in China or other countries. Then they add a zipper or button in Italy or France so they can label the item as made in Italy or made in France.
Most of those bags I cut open, just expensive, nothing special. But a few truly exceptional.
It's a clever marketing trick. The factory making most of these bags is Satan Handbag, located in Guangdong Province, China. This factory has been producing luxury bags for 54 years and makes about 80% of the world's high-end handbags. As more people learn that
nothing is as humbling as your daughter drawing on your $60,000 Birkin. Am I right?
Yeah. I couldn't even be mad at her because when I asked her, I was like, I wanted to see if she was gonna tell me the truth. I was like, Coach, did you draw on mommy's purse?
Literally spent $60,000 on this purse. Look what my daughter did to my purse.
Resale prices of these bags are starting to drop. Buyers feel cheated paying $25,000 for a bag that comes from the same factory as a $400 fake. Tanner also found that some bags claiming to have real calfskin leather are actually made with cheap plastic.
Unbox my latest Hermes bag with me. This is my first bag I got this year. I usually get 1 bag a year, and this is the one for this year. And I'm really excited about it.
Plastic-coated leather. This discovery is making collectors nervous and customers angry. If Hermes bags aren't really about top quality or expert craftsmanship, then what exactly are people paying for? It turns out, they're paying for a brand.
Hermes and say, hey, I want to buy one of these. You know what they say to you? No, we don't have them. First of all, you have to be Hermes customers. You have to demonstrate that you like the brand. And then you can only buy
image.
one.
A story of exclusivity and luxury that might not be true. There's a common belief in the West that products made in China are low quality, while European goods are superior. But this idea is outdated. Today, Chinese factories have excellent materials, skilled workers, and advanced machines. Many luxury brands make their items in the same factories as.
I've been speaking to this client here regarding selling her Birkin 30 Gris Etane, if I'm not wrong. Gris Etane is the color, and it's palladium hardware. The bag is in box fresh condition, but it's SUES stamped, which means it's a 2021
mid-range or knockoff brands. They just put different tags on the final product. So if someone says a bag is made in China, it doesn't mean it's bad. In fact, it might be just as good or even better than
Louis Vuitton fanny pack, and she didn't know it. I'm gonna give you 3 reasons why I know that this Louis Vuitton bag is fake.
What's made in Europe. There are also stories of people buying factory extras without logos that are basically the same as $1,000 designer bags but cost way less. One creator shared that her Ugg boots were made in the same factory as the real ones but without the label, and they only cost $5. The only difference was the branding. Western media has trained us to think China means cheap and Europe means classy, but it's mostly marketing. These big brands are owned by investment companies focused on making money by selling overpriced products to people who don't know the truth. Now that customers are waking up, the luxury industry is worried. Tanner Leatherstein doesn't work for any brand or try to sell anything. He just shares
None of this jewelry on my arm is real. Don't love me because of no diamonds. Take all this. This bracelet right here look real as a. This shit was $23 on Amazon.
Findings and breaks down what really goes into these expensive bags. He even cut open his own about $800 wallet to show what you're paying for. And honestly, it was disappointing every time. But let's be honest for a second. These brands wouldn't be where they are without celebrities showing off their products like trophies. Most stars don't buy their own bags. They get them for free or get paid to carry them around. It's called strategic marketing. When a celebrity like Cardi B posts a $60,000 bag on Instagram, everyone else wants one too. So what we're really buying is celebrity approval, not just a fancy handbag. And let's not forget the real-life moments, like when a celebrity's child draws on their $60,000 Birkin bag. That's priceless. At the end of the day, these brands are making money by selling an idea more than a product, and it's up to us to decide if that's worth it.